Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hey, I'm Kevin.
And I'm John.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we're taking a long look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
This is episode 4 of our breakdown of 1987's Robocop from Paul Verhoeven, whatever.
What movie is this?
Who?
I'm very excited about this.
I couldn't be more excited. The beer is still flowing. What are we drinking here, Mr. Arnold?
So today we are drinking Houston's own St. Arnold Art Car IPA. If you've never had this, for craft beer aficionados, I'm not going to go as far as to call it a direct comparison to Tropicalia from Creature Comforts, but it's probably one of the closest things, or maybe the closest thing that St. Arnold's got to that lauded beer. So if you're in Atlanta and you're wondering what we're drinking, this is pretty damn close, and it's awfully damn delicious.
This is a hoppy mofo right here. I'm reading the label, 7.1% alcohol by volume. Solid.
But you also get a lot of citrus notes, Kevin.
Yeah,
you get
citrus,
some
tangerine,
some blood orange,
some peach rind, or
no
peach pit.
You don't even know.
Notes of dog's breath. Sorry, we'll cut that out.
No, you don't have to cut it out. Leave it in. I want that to make
Where did we leave off?
I'm glad that you asked that, because here in my notes, the last thing that I have is we just had Robocop / Murphy. Now I think we've gone full schizophrenic. And he has just left his house, his abandoned home.
Yeah.
After freaking out on the virtual real estate agent, busting that screen.
Right.
And so the next scene in the movie picks up in some lit ass nightclub.
Yeah.
Everyone is getting down. It's definitely not my scene, but I'd kind of like to go.
I feel like this is the nightclub from every 80s movie. It's definitely like the nightclub from Terminator, Tech Noir.
Oh yeah. There's a little bit of everything in there. There's some like punk guys in
spiky
there,
hair,
guys,
yeah,
some like super like 80s Euro trash looking guys.
It's like techno music is pounding and all the lighting is red.
Everyone is in there to get down, and it's awesome. When suddenly we cut to we'd be remiss to mention that one guy that's going absolutely crazy is Paul Verhoeven himself.
Yes,
sort of
a cameo.
Yeah, he's like getting right at the camera. The camera's in his face. And I gotta say that the camera work at this part is sort of like first person. They're like following around, and people are actually interacting with the camera a little bit.
Yeah,
they're aware of the camera. Do you think that's supposed to be RoboCop walking through there?
Yes, I think we're getting a RoboCop point of view.
So I see like Verhoeven is dancing.
Oh, they want to dance
face.
with RoboCop.
Go Robo.
Do the Robo.
I would do the Robo. So RoboCop rounds a corner, and we see dancing in the crowd a much older, not much older. We'll just say a little bit older, clearly older than everyone else in the crowd.
Older.
Ray Wise, Leon, the character's name is Leon from Clarence Boddicker's gang, is getting down, and he is confronted by RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop gets right in his face. Basically, he sort of just slams him around and arrests him, I guess.
Not before Leon tries to get one cheap shot, tries to kick RoboCop in the junk. Rookie mistake.
I never try to kick a metal man.
Yeah, so he falls to the ground, kind of grabbing his foot, which is probably broken, or at least fractured a toe, which, by the way, there's nothing you can do for that. Put a splint on it.
Absolutely.
You just wait for it. And then you get an extra, a little bit of theater work, the placing of the hand on the head.
He dragged him by the hair. Yeah.
But he, Ray Wise sells it. Leon sells the pain.
He's screaming as he drags him out.
That robot grip. You had this short-lived victory, though, because then we cut to Bobby Morton's house. his lavishly appointed swank pad.
He had previously told his buddy, his executive buddy, he's like, "Oh, I'm partying with a couple of models tonight
on Thursday night." Yeah, he turned down a racquetball invitation.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, no, he looks like he's
so. But he's definitely doing drugs with these quote unquote models.
We've never really talked about and I know because you're supposed to be concentrated on the sheer volume of cocaine on the table and on everyone's clothes, but like his triple TV stereo setup that's built into the wall.
Oh yeah, dude, it was like
unbelievable,
wall to wall.
But why are there 3 TV monitors?
Why not? There was a similar setup. The guys were rocking it in 3 Men and a Baby. They had like a Mac Daddy like entertainment like media room
I remember
set up. I guess that was like the lap of luxury in that late 80s.
I can't even imagine what that 3-bedroom apartment cost in New York now would
insane.
Be like $800,000 or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
like that,
insane.
Anyway, Bob Morton's house is nothing to sniff at.
He's got this
unintended.
He's got like a Scarface like mountain of cocaine like laid out.
God. It's prodigious.
I thought there was a pretty big hotness disparity between the two girls.
The cocaine makes Bobby love them both equally.
Oh, okay. There you go. So
I love that he's making out with one chick and then he starts sniffing the coke out of the other
she
girls.
Lures him over with cocaine and the cleavage.
Coke cleavage is a brilliant lure, by the way.
I've not ever done coke. I've only seen it in the movies, and that seemed like a lot that she poured on herself.
Yeah, me either.
Me.
Stay out of trouble. So yeah, the doorbell rings in a hilarious bit of writing. We hear that must be the champagne
delivery champagne.
It's an early. So
maybe it was just his right hand man Johnson.
That's what I'm saying is that I feel like he probably now has clout as a VP that he calls his assistant and OCD.
He's got an intern,
and he's like, "Hey, I need champagne down here now. I need it to be cold when it arrives."
Did you read this in your research that Verhoeven on the set, like he just he didn't call the actors by their given names. He would call them by their script name, directing like, "Hey, Robocop, you do this, Morton, you do that, whatever." And like they said that no one could keep a straight face on the set this day because he was referring to the two models as like bitches. You're just like saying, and bitches, you do this.
Well, that makes the next bit of this scene make complete sense because when Bobby just opens the door, who walks in but Clarence? It's Clarence Boddicker with gun drawn, who immediately is like, "Bitches, leave."
And they scramble out. I think one of them is like, "Are you going to call me?"
Which is sweet. And
I think they were in love.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like does Morton sort of protest briefly and then Clarence just shoots him.
Yeah, he's like, "What the hell are you doing in my house? Are you out of your mind?" And I think it's like it's an immediate gunshot to the right knee, like
ouch.
Immediate, and great what is it, squib work on this. The blood squibs look legit, but he shoots Bobby in the knee and then shoots him 3 more times, once in the same leg and then like twice in the other leg. Like, you're not going anywhere.
That's brutal.
And Ferrer sells it, man, because I can't imagine being held at gunpoint. I know people who have been held at gunpoint. I have a friend, Stafford Hardman, if you're listening, shout out, who was actually shot at one point because she refused to give her purse up to the guy who was trying to mug her.
Damn.
So anyway, Clarence shoots Bobby in the leg. Bobby is desperate, like pleading for his life. "Don't kill me. I'll give you whatever you want."
Yeah, he's like, whatever whatever they're paying you, I'll double it. Or
Clarence is a man of few words in this scene. Mm-hmm. Pulls out early DVD technology and pops it into Bob's.
That was pretty awesome, really. Yeah. I'm like, that was futuristic tech.
Well, it's like, I would imagine, what if the first take had been like, he pulls a laser disc out?
A big ass laser disc. Like, yeah, I guess it must have been inspired by the fact that laser discs were on the scene. In that year.
Yeah. But DVDs, I think they were on the cusp.
CDs were obviously a thing.
But you could only afford, CDs had come on because I remember at that time going to like Turtle Music with my dad and like
cassettes, and the Robocop soundtrack.
Cassettes and exactly. Cassettes and CDs. CDs were all the rage. My dad had a bitchin' stereo with CD player like in 1988, 89.
What was your first ever CD? That you had?
Oh man, my first CD.
I got a CD player for Christmas one year, so I kind of remember I got like a handful of CDs that first Christmas. I think my first ever was the Aladdin soundtrack.
Yeah.
And Crisscross. And then I think from my aunt, then the same Christmas, I got maybe a Duran Duran, a Tears for Fears.
That's kind of badass.
And Michael Bolton.
Oh my God, moms love Michael Bolton.
Yeah, so he had that long flowing mullet at the time.
I think that I can clearly remember a few of the first CDs. I don't remember if they were exactly the first. The Aladdin soundtrack was definitely among the first that I owned.
Right on.
But I remember one was just like a compilation of like great piano music, because at the time I was big into like piano. I was a classical pianist. I was in a different kind of headspace. I was a weird kid.
No, man. Look what you've become. A wonderful young beer drinking man.
That's right. The future's bright.
Yeah, I feel like we were talking about a movie a minute ago.
What movie is this?
That's Robocop.
Go Robo. Clarence pops a disc, an early DVD in, and it's a message from none other than Dick Jones. And you were quick to point out that you have to tell the audience about
I just like laugh at the thought of Dick Jones like setting up lights, setting up a camera and tripod.
Because there's not going to be anybody else in the room, right? It's just him.
My only thought was Boddicker there, like running the camera.
That's a good point. And he's like, we need to get 3-point light on this.
Yeah, and you need we got to adjust your fill light.
We need. Can we do the backlight a little bit more? We got a shadow coming in.
But
do we need some powder.
He's videotaping what is essentially a murder confession. He's videotaping it.
Yeah.
So Dick Jones is delivering the message, right? He's like, we could have been friends, we could have worked together, but you went over my head, and like giving him all that, he's very menacing and all that. But first of all, Ronnie Cox, so good at like this sort of smug, smirking, like white collar bad guy thing that he's got going on here. But the attitude he's got is like hilarious, because it's almost like, hey, nothing personal. Like I'm taking you out, or no, I'm cashing you out, Bob. How long do you think it took to make that video, or how many takes?
Was there a prompter?
I feel like, did he get it on the first take, or was he like, I'm sorry, we got to stop. Can I start over again?
Clarence is in there going, motherfucker,
we've been here for 3 hours. It is, yeah.
You fly, Bobby.
But I just, the effort that our man Dick Jones must have put forth to make this video just staggers me.
It did look good, must say.
Yeah,
the final.
It was well lit. He was like in front of a backdrop, like glamour shots.
and then as the confession is rolling, we see Clarence sort of seductively pulling the pin out of some, I guess, military grade grenade.
He's making love to that grenade.
Pulling the pin out. It's seductive.
It is. I think that was a prop they made for the movie that they were never really happy with the way it looked, but it was kind of cool at that digital countdown.
It looks like a space age thermal detonator from some Star Wars shit. I mean, it's like, what is going on with that thing? It
was clearly like so much more destructive than just your typical grenade that you think of, I guess. Like it blew the house up essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm wondering is like, all right, so we'll fast forward a little bit. We see the house explode, and it looks like it explodes from every angle. Like there were explosions coming from every room of the house.
You're not wrong.
And so I guess it is. That's why I was saying like military grade. It wouldn't. So because my initial thought was crawl to another room, crawl behind something.
He's sort of trying to fumble for the grenade.
Make yourself small, but it wouldn't have mattered. That's not going to matter if you're going to die.
That's probably no CP grenade.
That's what I'm saying. Is that
like maybe Morton knew.
That's like an ED.
There's nowhere to get
level. It's the ED 209 of grenades.
There's no way for Morton to get safe.
Yeah.
I'd buy that. I'd buy that for $1.
Oh my God. Yes. Clarence has no time to waste. He leaves straight from the murder scene. All of the evidence has been destroyed in the fire.
Well, he's got a big meeting with like the drug kingpin.
That's right. He's got a big meeting at Sal, we guess Italian drug kingpin's operation.
This seems to be like a very above the board like drug operation.
This guy is the Henry Ford of coke dealers.
He's got the assembly line set up. Shout out Detroit.
That's right. Go Detroit.
But it was like a huge space. It was very well lit. I feel like there was also just lots of cocaine just dumping on the ground that was missing the vials.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of waste there. I wonder if that gets swept up, or
it probably gets caught.
Maybe the guys get to keep that. Sal knows what's up.
Fringe benefits.
You get to take home what falls on the floor because that shit ain't pure.
But yeah, it's like very well lit. Guys are wearing masks, which I guess for safety.
Yeah, well, you don't want them to get high.
But the dude, the damn leader guy, Sal, he's just strolling through with like silk shirt and a glass of wine.
He looks great. Yeah, he's drinking a glass of wine.
I think he had a big chain, like a gold chain.
Yeah, and we hear Clarence call him a wop. He's drinking,
not friendly.
Yeah, we're drinking. That's not good manners to anyone. He's drinking red wine, and as they're sitting at this table discussing the terms of an agreement, we see probably, I think, alpha move number 2 of the film. Right?
Yes.
This brilliant bit with the wine.
Yeah. Boddicker just like takes his couple of fingers and sticks them in the guy's glass of wine and then just sniffs it. Weird.
Which, I mean, just like as if to say, what's this vintage like? But Sal seems undeterred. He immediately takes a sip.
He wasn't really fazed by that.
He's like, fine, I don't care.
On the pantheon of alpha moves, was the Dick Jones hair yank or this fingers in the wine more alpha?
No, the fingers in the wine was almost playful. The hand through the hair thing.
Agree completely.
Me, like,
it burns. It gets your motor running hot just thinking about it.
My dander's up right now.
That's awesome. So he's basically, I think Boddicker's game is, You're going to sell me drugs wholesale because I run crime in old Detroit.
I'm like the unofficial crime boss.
Yeah, if you don't sell me your drugs for cheap, then you're not going to have an operation here anymore. I'll just take over. He does drop the OCP mantra of the good business is where you find it, which
is interesting because all of a sudden now we have a correlation that we didn't necessarily have before. So now we're starting to see some through lines.
I think throughout, I feel like they've been sort of painting a similarity between the ruthlessness of OCP's business tactics and the criminals.
Maybe that's where Clarence's gang is getting their business classes from. They're attending like the junior exec courses at OCP.
Very nice.
So yeah, all of a sudden, Sal's not really feeling that, and we have. What?
It turns into like a Mexican standoff. Oh, yeah,
everyone is standing up. Everyone's on their feet.
I think Sal's like, kill this motherfucker.
And don't you think that in this situation, guns, that Clarence's group and the little beat on the table.
Clarence is so cool.
But he's clearly outclassed in this situation. Like he's
they would lose. They would lose that.
Blown away.
But I think he's just like. I think it's who's going to blink first.
Right.
And he's like, I know it's going to be this other guy.
Yeah. He knows what's up because the guy knows he's dead in the water.
Like our whole group would get killed, but Sal would also get killed and Sal will call his guys off.
You know that Sal has to be at least partially aware of who Clarence works for.
Yeah. So Drug Kingpin does back down.
Right.
And then he also like dropped some line about there's a Tigers game tonight. Like I never miss a game.
Clarence says I never miss a game, which is kind of awesome. I like a diehard fan.
Yeah, you do.
Can we also talk about how what a boss Clarence is dressed up? He's wearing like a $400 barber jacket.
You like that? I didn't it never stuck out to me.
If you watch enough Escape to the Country or enough BBC, you start to notice that barber jacket.
Yeah.
Like it's
is that a brand or what?
Yeah, Barber is a brand of British. It's a British clothier, but they're famous for these jackets. They're like waxed canvas and they've got the corduroy collar and they're super durable. They've got a lifetime guarantee. You send them back, they'll re-wax them, retreat them for you. And as soon as I saw him when we were watching again, now with adult eyes, I'm like, that's a really nice coat. And he's also got this like ascot thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah. He had like a lightweight sort of scarf tied around his neck, like kind of tight.
He looks awesome.
You dug it. I like that.
I like Clarence's drug dealer chic outfit.
But so he was definitely feeling himself. Like he takes pride in his appearance, I guess.
So then it seems like things are winding down and agreements being made when all of a sudden Robocop busts in.
Yeah, it took him a bunch of bangs to knock that door down, but it's like, I guess you knew it was going to be Robocop. It's just
right. Boom, I don't necessarily think that they did.
They didn't know. Yeah.
But we're all
like a battering ram.
I think that's probably what they thought it was a police battering ram. But in walks one guy, and RoboCop immediately starts individually targeting guys, assessing the situation.
Did he tell them all to drop their guns or something? You're all under arrest, something along those lines.
If you don't cooperate, there will be trouble.
That's when Men was like,
fuck you.
Oh, Men.
We hardly knew you.
They unload on RoboCop. Man. Everyone's shooting AK-47s and Uzis. And
but again, and this is the first time where we see him in a situation where it's more than one guy. This is a literal, a small army unloading everything they've got bouncing off of him. And this is where we see the first, like, besides the crotch shot in an earlier episode that we talked about, RoboCop really going to town with the targeting. We see some nifty, like, no-look
shots. He's, like, taking everybody out all over the... Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Oh, man.
He lays waste to this army.
Yeah, it is excellent. We also see Joe gets knocked off a balcony.
Right. We had Min got killed.
Min gets killed right out of the gate almost.
Joe sort of got knocked into like off the catwalk, like into a stack of boxes or something,
right.
much like he did to Lewis.
That's right. Out for the count, a little comeuppance for Joe.
Yep.
We see RoboCop shoots one guy who then, I think one of Sal's guys, who then like scatter shots as in his death throes and shoots Sal,
in the gut.
Flies back like 15 feet.
That was rad.
Yeah, it was a
I feel like that's what RoboCop's gun should have been doing to guys, like just throwing them back across the room.
That would have been more effective.
That's a pretty expensive stunt, though, to be doing it 50 times in one scene. Yeah.
I think, the supposition is that the gun just fires a shit ton of rounds at once, and it's like it hits you with so many rounds that you die. But I personally, would have liked
power.
I would like to see the body fly backwards. Paul Verhoeven, if you're listening, there's still time, I guess.
CGI.
And so then there were two. RoboCop and Clarence, who's trying to sneak out this whole time, falls through, I guess, the false ceiling of an office, and gets up, and RoboCop's like, "All right, I came here for you, guy."
He starts reading him his Miranda rights, but also like chucking him through windows,
like just several plate glass windows. And each time, I love that each time he goes through a window, Clarence gets up, it's more
cuts
up,
on his face,
more bleeding. It's awesome. But again, this is another example of people in this movie's the baddies' willingness to spill the goods.
Oh yeah, immediately he's just like, I work for Dick Jones. Dick Jones.
I can't be touched. You can't fuck with me.
He runs the police. I work for Dick Jones. He's the vice president of. He's like, here's his social security number.
His blood type is, and RoboCop still. All right, but anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Of course, RoboCop's recording everything.
Yeah, I love it. And then right at the end of right at the end of this thing, he's sort of got Dick Jones in this vice grip on his throat, and
he's going to kill him.
Yeah, you can hear the bones cracking. And I think that the Murphy side of his psyche is is going to straight.
Murphy knows that this is the guy who killed him, right?
Right.
And then I think Clarence says, "You're the police." And that like triggers his directive.
Directive number 3, uphold the law, pops up on the screen.
And he's like, okay, I guess I got to take him in.
And then he enters into arrest mode, which I think is kind of awesome.
It was like so it is this ongoing battle between the human and the robot side of RoboCop.
Because, everyone watching the movie is like, kill him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if he'd been a human cop, he would have actually killed him.
Now, I think back at the police station, it seems like, right, the police are getting ready to start the strike.
The shit is reaching a fever pitch, Kevin.
Okay.
The cops run in. They tell Sergeant Reed that the union has held a vote. 5 more cops got killed, yesterday or in the last 2 days? Mm-hmm. Like 5 more. Think about that. Like when a Houston cop gets killed, it's out of the ordinary. It doesn't happen like a police shooting, but it's like a huge deal. And so to think about 5 cops being killed in a single day,
I think it might have been last week, but either way, it's like they're dropping like flies.
It is mind blowing. And so the same cop that's been talking about strikes for the whole movie says the union held a vote and it's not looking good because we don't stand a chance out there. And who should come through the door at that point?
RoboCop.
But notorious cop killer Clarence Boddicker.
The titular RoboCop comes in with like the city's most famous police like cop killer, Boddicker.
That's right.
Which I felt like there would have just been the police would have, I feel like, just swarmed on Boddicker when they saw him.
Well, I don't know. I think to see RoboCop walk in with him, especially in that moment, everyone was kind of gobsmacked. It sort of took the wind out of the room.
I thought it was just a subdued reaction to what I would have expected, which was like cheers or they all start roughing up Boddicker.
I don't know. I think I'd be along with them. I'd be like, son of a bitch. I think I'd kind of take me a second to. Yeah. But also, can we talk about Clarence like still just sauntering in the room, like even though he's bleeding,
not a care in the world,
like, whatever.
This is like I'll be out of here in a day or whatever. Yeah.
And RoboCop anyway. He tells Sergeant Reed to book Clarence.
Yeah, book him.
And when asked under what charge,
he's a cop killer.
He's a cop killer.
which is probably not the actual crime, but just murder or
But that's Murphy coming through.
Yeah.
He's a cop killer because Robocop probably would have said something like the murder or the suspected murder of a police officer.
Yeah. There's also was, I feel like this is the moment that Robocop won over all those beat cops. Like Lewis was already on his side,
right.
But like all the other ones who had been skeptical when he first came in, they're like, this guy got Boddicker.
There's nothing that a badge hates more than a cop killer or a snitch. Those two things, cop killers and snitches, right?
Yeah.
I watch TV. I know.
I watch all the shows.
So, yeah. And then it's at that point, it's with that line, though, that again, you see that Lewis is like, now I'm like, she knew that it was Murphy before, but now she knows that like there's been some disconnect from his programming.
And, basically Boddicker demands his phone call. He spits blood.
God damn. I want my phone call. Just spitting blood.
I know, he's as cool as you like.
He just is venom oozing out of him.
Who's he going to call with that call?
I think, and I'm right, that he calls Dickie Jones in his swank office, and we hear Dick promising Clarence that he'll get him out of jail in 24 hours.
Yeah, he's like, just keep your mouth shut. We'll get you out of jail in 24 hours.
Oops.
I would have thought those phone calls are like monitored, at least who you're calling with your phone call.
I don't know.
Like if he's calling OCP headquarters and then he's released instantly, like that's suspicious as hell.
I've talked to people on the inside before when they've called me for various and sundry reasons.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And it's what
I've never talked to anyone in jail.
It's such a pain in the ass.
Huh.
Especially if you're trying to like work out a bail.
I'm just not living my life right, apparently. I think
that it's probably for the best. So needless to say, Clarence is in jail. Mm-hmm. Jonesy's been on the phone. Clarence has dimed Jones to Robocop. Where's Robocop going now?
Well, and as we see Dick Jones in his office, he's got his Robocop tracker.
That's right.
So he can see that Robocop's on his way to OCP.
Yeah, we should probably mention, oh, by the way, there's a Robocop tracker.
Yeah, that's introduced well earlier with the baby food.
Yeah, the baby food and the tracker.
Which, of course, he's got a low jack.
Yeah, of course he does. But I love that Dick Jones does not seem to be in the least concerned about the fact that Robocop is.
Well, he knows something we don't know.
He knows something we don't know, but there's a lot of like smirking and drumming of fingers on desks, like patiently waiting. And
when Robocop enters, we get the epic gladiator type music.
This music is awesome. And you're the one that pointed out to me and on subsequent watches have gone back and noticed that they did a killer job with mixing like big orchestral sounds with techno and that modern 80s sound of that time.
It's that battle between like humanity and machine.
Yeah, it's really, really clever. But here, the music reaches this epic like crescendo. It's excellent.
I think they're queuing us up for like this is going to be it. Like he's gonna get the big bad guy right here and now.
But people would have been disappointed to look at their watches and see,
the movie's only 50 minutes long, or whatever it is.
40 more minutes to go. Shit. So yeah, the epic music swells. Robocop busts up in Dick's office and is like, "I'm here."
Dick Jones is there just waiting for him, like smug as can be.
I'm here to take you to jail, sir.
Yep.
And
he's like, "Oh, well, boy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess that's a pretty serious crime. Maybe guess you should arrest me."
Yeah, what's the charge? And he's like, "What? He's aiding and abetting a known felon, right?"
Yeah, something like that.
Not to mention you're like complicit in a murder. I guess he doesn't know that part yet.
Doesn't know it yet.
So Robocop approaches to arrest, and what should happen? But a secret protocol, Directive 4, is triggered. Son of a bitch.
It's like, cannot arrest.
Any attempt to arrest a senior officer of OCP results in shutdown.
Right.
Wah, wah, wah.
So Robocop's kind of glitching up. He's like sputtering.
Which Jones calls Directive for his contribution, his own personal contribution to the Robocop program. And we hear the Price is Right trombones. Boom, 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 boom.
It is like, and he says, you're our product. We can't have you arresting us.
And some great physical acting again of Robocop shutting down, actually like literally being brought down to one knee at this point.
He can't lift his gun.
All the while we get some more just freely offered implication, like self-implication of crime.
I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake.
Oh my God.
Time to erase that mistake.
Okay.
It's like, you were just scolding, Boddicker, don't talk.
If we've learned anything from these movies that we've been talking about, and we've talked about it at great length and other things, but it's never celebrate I quote Kevin Costner's Elliot Ness in The Untouchables. Never stop fighting until the fight is done. You're nothing but a lot of talk and a badge.
Absolutely. Ray Jackson could have learned that. Half the fighters in Bloodsport could have learned that.
Never stop fighting until the fight is done. So, yeah.
But now I think whatever defense it is, although I guess no one celebrates prematurely if they don't think they're about to win. But Dick Jones does think it's checkmate.
He does.
Like, he's got Ed 209 waiting in the wings.
Game over, man.
He brings him in.
In comes erectile dysfunction 209 to kill Robocop. And he just fucking unloads on him, right?
He takes a good blast from his cannon, which does some damage to the armor.
Yeah, we immediately see the first full-scale damage of the Robocop armor. And I think that they said that there were 3 pristine suits.
And three various stages of damage suits.
3 damage suits. And this volley of gunfire actually like knocks out some of the glass, the bulletproof glass in his visor.
We can see his eye.
We start to see a human eye.
It's kind of awesome. The humanity is breaking through.
And allegory. And so we see ED-209 approach Robocop, I guess to shoot him point blank, which is awesome because Robocop grabs that arm and a show of strength matches the strength of ED-209 and like forces the arm up and he shoots off the other arm.
Absolutely. Like clearly Robocop's very strong.
Oh my God.
Well, I guess he's all like hydraulics and stuff in those arms.
And then I would say Robocop gets on the run, but he can't. He doesn't run.
He gets down the stairwell.
Well, no, I'm even talking before the office because ED-209 starts shooting missiles at him.
Yes, this is true.
and missing. So ED-209 doesn't have a targeting system?
Not as good as Robocop's, apparently. Now, I think in Dick Jones's defense, I think he built Ed 209 with defects so that they could be paid to fix the defects later.
You're a genius.
He said earlier, he's like, who cares if it works or not? So
he's like the at that time, Fiat, I think now is a company on the up and up. The Fiat designer of or I don't know, what's a car that breaks down on purpose? Is there one? I don't know. They probably don't mean for it to. This is like any European car of the time. You're going to pay a shit ton of money for the
exactly.
upkeep. Anyway,
basically Ed 209 is a piece of crap.
He can't hit Robocop, who moves like a tortoise on its back,
and he's like wrecking the penthouse of the OCP building.
Much like Rickon Stark, Robocop not so good at the zig or zag. He moves in sort of a straight line, and then sort of falls to one side.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think 3 missiles miss before Robocop somehow falls out of frame into like a stairwell, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he dives into like the emergency stairwell or whatever it is. This is a wonderful moment, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of this.
Ed 209 enters in like a toddler,
he has to
like
squat down,
like a weird, like an animal, like this unsure of encountering a new thing. He's like
going on.
He's tentatively reaching his foot out, his little toes are grabbing.
Seen a dog like walk up to the water for the first time, and it's like,
my dog doing stairs the first time. It was something similar. Like, I don't know about taking this first step down.
What is this? What is just a toe in? Like, I don't know.
But any type of toddler you've seen walking around is something similar.
And Robocop's just trying to just hobble his way down some stairs. Fuck it. And ED-209 says, "Fuck it, I'm going for it."
He just decides to go for it. He just hilariously tumbles down the stairs, like rolls down the stairs, and then is just flailing on his back.
Which I love, like just like a child throwing a tantrum, like I can't get up, I can't, like Randy in Christmas Story.
The sound effect was like a pig squealing.
I love it. I love the use of animal sounds to try to give ED-209 some level of not humanity, but like some like beast. No,
it's great.
He's like some creature. He's more than just a machine. He's like this ghoulish creature. So we have to imagine, given Robocop's pace, right? He's injured. He's probably leaking some sort of fluid that he needs to live. And he was at probably
the 50th floor, the 60th floor of this building. So it probably takes him 10 minutes to go down the stairs.
You think 10? I think it
longer.
I think it took like 30 minutes to walk down the stairs.
At any rate,
he probably fell down a lot of them, to be fair.
Yeah, he just rolled down.
He's like, I'm just going to fall down these stairs.
So Robocop, he pops out the bottom of the building into the parking deck,
the parking garage,
and like the SWAT team is all there with the goon SWAT team leader.
Basically, they've called in the whole.
Dick Jones called in
like the whole OCP,
his military wing of the Detroit police, basically, and gave him orders like destroy Robocop.
Which apparently he immediately gave the lieutenant from the City Hall disaster a promotion because that guy's leading the charge.
So all the good old Detroit like police officers show up, Lewis and the rest, that are like, you can't do this. He's a cop.
Yeah, he's a police officer.
And then he's like, I'm under orders.
Yeah,
basically.
these orders are orders. So, and then it's fire at will, right?
They light him up, which, I mean, I guess maybe there was damage to the armor, but this time the rounds seem to be doing damage to Robocop's armor.
I think at this point he's damaged, and probably if he's sustaining that much firepower at once, I mean, if
he's probably taken 5 times the firepower he's taken in like the drug warehouse.
I like the wherewithal of to put a big mitt over his face to protect.
He was protecting his face,
protect that the
moneymaker
chin. That's right. You gotta protect
the cheekbones,
baby.
No, the cheekbones.
Don't hit the face, not the face. No punches to the face. So yeah, we get.
He manages a nifty escape.
Yeah, he does. They sort of force him into a corner. He falls, he rolls, and he sort of like hits 3 different levels to like bounce out of their field of view.
Yeah, he drops down to like the 3rd or 4th sub level of the garage,
which was smart. And
somehow Lewis is there.
Yeah, she knew what was up.
They had that like partner. They were like mind melded.
Intuition. That's right.
Yeah.
She was down there waiting. She helps somehow. We have to think that he weighs what, 300 pounds?
Oh yeah, he's got to be. He's like, if he's what, titanium or whatever he's made of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the suit was originally supposed to be blue.
Oh yeah.
That they painted it to make it look more metallic because they.
I think it looked good.
The
finished look is good. Yeah.
Anyway, she helps get his ass in the car.
She like
in the back
lets him lean against her, which as you say, that would like just probably knock her over. Either way.
But about that time, they're spotted.
Yeah,
so they start to unload on her as well.
They made it out. Presumably, they would have had to drive back up through the level where all the police were to get out. Maybe there's a back door.
Yeah, there's always a back door.
Well, that's why it wasn't shown.
That's right.
On screen.
Or maybe she did just plow through everyone.
She could have. She massacred.
She killed 31 cops also.
Oh, man. That got grim. But so now we've got, Robocop and Lewis are like the fighting alone. They've got nowhere to turn to. They're going to have to do it by themselves.
That's right. It's like in Fistful of Dollars or the original, the Kurosawa Yojimbo, like where the samurai's been kicking ass the whole movie, but then he gets seriously beat up by the rival gang.
He's got to recuperate.
So he can live to fight another day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a movie staple and a Western movie staple.
Oh, yeah.
Unforgiven
definitely.
Comes to mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to find out if Robocop's got what it takes.
Does he have the touch?
You got the touch.
Can you fly, Bobby?
All right. We will see you next time with another round of beer and another round of Robocop.
Go Robo.
We'll be back.